The moment the billionaire's daughter slammed her diamond-studded purse on the restaurant counter, every waiter froze. She did this often, made someone cry, fired an employee, or demanded the manager. But today, something was different. Today, a single dad wiping spilled juice off the floor quietly lifted his head, and recognized the fake name she had been hiding for years, and in that moment, he knew her entire world was about to collapse because he was the only man who knew who she really was, and he was the only one brave enough to say her true name out loud. The night everything changed began with a shattered glass, a scream, and a truth that no amount of money could bury. She entered the place like a storm wrapped in red silk. She pointed at a trembling young waiter and accused him of ruining her evening. Plates shook, guests stared, and the staff braced for disaster. But at the far end of the dining hall, a calm man with tired eyes and rolled-up sleeves slowly stood up. A single dad, known for being gentle, quiet, and invisible. Tonight, he refused to stay invisible because the name she was hiding, the name she desperately didn't want anyone here to hear, was the same name that had once destroyed his life, and he was done letting her pretend. The story begins here. A hook might keep you watching, but a secret keeps you breathing for the next moment. And in this place, surrounded by chandeliers and whispered gossip, a secret was about to explode. Leo's hands were still damp from washing dishes when he stepped forward into the mess unfolding in the middle of the restaurant. His daughter Mia sat quietly at a corner table doing homework, giving him a small, supportive nod. She knew her father never wanted trouble, but he never backed down when someone was being hurt. The billionaire's daughter, known to everyone as Arya Dane, towered over the frightened waiter. Her voice cut through the room like a knife. You incompetent child. You spilled wine on my gown worth more than your yearly salary. The waiter shook, eyes wet. Ma'am, I didn't. Someone bumped. Enough. She snapped her fingers. Manager. Fire him. No one moved. Everyone feared her. The staff had seen her tantrums 100 times, drama, power, entitlement. But tonight, Leo was watching her differently. He wasn't intimidated. He wasn't shocked. He was remembering the way she tossed her hair, the way anger twisted her voice, the way she used her false name as a shield. He knew her real name, and he knew the darkness tied to it. Arya, the manager whispered nervously. Let's discuss this in the back, she scoffed. No. Right here. Fire him in front of everyone. Leo's jaw tightened. He stepped forward. Enough. The room fell silent. Even Arya turned, startled. Leo had never raised his voice. Never challenged her. Most people didn't even know his full story. Just a widowed single dad working extra shifts to raise his daughter. She crossed her arms and smirked. You think you can speak to me? You're just a... Leo didn't flinch. Stop bullying kids because you're too afraid to face your real name. Her smirk vanished, all eyes turned to him. Arya's breathing sharpened. You don't know anything about me. Oh, I know enough, Leo said softly. More than the people you pretend for. She took a step back because she recognized him, because she remembered the night she destroyed his reputation, years ago, before she ran away from her old identity. A name that carried scandal, lawsuits, and a family legacy she could not bear. She changed her name. Rebuilt her image. Became untouchable under the Billionaire brand, but Leo had seen everything, and now, the staff stared, waiting for him to speak the name that could tear her world apart. Don't, she whispered, her voice trembling. Leo stared into her panicked eyes. He didn't speak the name, not yet, not like this. Instead, he picked up the trembling waiter's hand and placed a cloth in it gently. You're not fired, he said. You're learning. And everyone learns. The boy burst into tears. Arya clenched her fists, shaking with humiliation. You have no right, actually, Leo said, walking past her. I have every right. You hurt people to hide yourself. You shame others so no one sees your own shame. She froze. She wasn't used to people seeing her. Truly seeing her. Leo stood beside Mia's table. His daughter looked up at him with pride. Arya followed him with her eyes, suddenly unsure of everything because the one man she feared, the one man who could destroy her life, was choosing not to, and for the first time, she didn't know how to react. She stormed out of the restaurant, but not before glancing over her shoulder, one last look at the men who held the truth she couldn't escape. And Leo knew this wasn't over. A storm was coming. The next evening, Arya returned, not in a gown, not in diamonds, but in simple jeans, a plain sweater, and trembling hands. She walked inside slowly, like someone entering a courtroom instead of a luxury restaurant. A few waiters stepped back, expecting the usual rage, but her voice, when she spoke, was soft. "I need to speak to Leo." People exchanged confused looks. Leo came forward, wiping his hands on his apron. Mia peeked over a menu, curious. Arya swallowed hard. Her eyes were red, as if she had cried for hours. "You didn't say my name yesterday," she whispered. "Why?" Leo folded his arms. "Why do you think?" She took a shaky breath. "Because you wanted something from me." Leo shook his head. "Not everything is a transaction. Some of us still believe in humanity." Her lips trembled. "I'm tired, Leo." She looked around the restaurant. "Everyone here fears me. Do you know how exhausting it is to live a lie? To pretend I'm perfect. To hide everything I've done." Leo didn't soften easily. He remembered how she had ruined his life, but he also saw something else, a scared girl who had never been taught kindness. "What do you want from me?" he asked. Arya's voice cracked. "A chance to fix it." Silence spread across the room. "I know I hurt people," she admitted. "I know I hurt you. I know you can destroy me with a single word. But, please don't. I'm trying to be someone better. Someone real." Leo looked at her closely. This wasn't manipulation, this wasn't entitlement, this was a confession she had never made to anyone. "You want forgiveness?" he asked. She shook her head quickly. "I don't deserve that. Not from you. I just want to stop being the person everyone fears." Mia came to her father's side and tugged his sleeve. "Daddy," she whispered. "Sometimes people act mean because they're hurting. That's what you told me." Arya blinked rapidly, fighting tears. Leo sighed deeply. "Arya," he said gently, "I don't need revenge. What I needed was for you to understand the damage you caused." She nodded, wiping her cheeks. "I do. I really do." "Then prove it," Leo said quietly. "Not with words, but with choices. Treat people with respect. Stop acting like the world owes you something. And stop hiding behind a fake name." Her breath caught. I can tell them." "You should," Leo said. "Not because I forced you. But because you're ready to become who you really are." Arya inhaled shakily and stepped forward. The staff watched as she turned around to face them. "My real name is..." She paused, then whispered the truth. Gasps echoed across the room. People recognized the name instantly, the scandals, the headlines, the history she had spent years burying. Arya waited for the judgment, the whispers, the humiliation, but instead, Leo stepped beside her and placed a steady hand on her shoulder. "She's starting over," he said. "Give her a chance." And slowly, one by one, the staff nodded. Arya burst into tears, not from shame, but from relief. For the first time, she felt seen, not as a billionaire's daughter, not as a scandal, not as a storm, but as a human being. And Leo, the quiet single dad she once wronged, became the first person to show her what forgiveness could look like, not erasing the past, but guiding her toward a better future. In that brightly lit restaurant, under the chandeliers that once watched her rage, Arya finally understood what real strength was. Not power, not wealth, not fear, but honesty, and courage, and the kind of compassion she had never known until a single dad exposed the name she hid, not to destroy her, but to help her become someone she could finally live with.